What up, squad?
Hey,
What's up, man?
So,
How y'all feeling?
good in yourself?
Great, I'm feeling awesome, man. I just literally just jumped off with Marlon Johnson. I was on his podcast.
yeah, I saw
Like
that
just
one. Y'all was live just now.
seconds ago. Huh?
So I saw that one. Y'all was live just now on
Right,
Instagram.
right. Yo, guys, welcome, guys. I'm here with Mr. Carter and Shakwe. Shakwe?
Shaque, yeah.
Shakwe, there you go. Yeah, Shakwe, which is his life partner and business partner, right?
Yes.
Right. So today, guys, we're talking all things Airbnb. We actually partner up on an Airbnb in Newsport News, VA, Virginia, for VA stand for Virginia. And we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about all things um, Airbnb, why Airbnbs, where did the lead come from? Because I know people love that. They want to know that magic lists. What did Mr. Carter pull? Ooh, right? And then, and then we're gonna dive into why Airbnb on top. Because I'm starting to love more Airbnbs than like regular rentals. It's like, oh my
Oh,
god, it's why do I even own regular rentals, right?
Yeah.
So, guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to my YouTube channel. The bold effects, right? This is where we know how important confidence is. That's why I call it the bold effects, right? And my last name, Diello, actually means bold. So there you
Oh,
go.
wow, I didn't
There you
know
have it. That's why Mamadou is so,
that.
Guys, introduce yourself. Let people know what market you're in, what you do. Da da da. Introduce yourself, man.
Well, my name is Shaque.
my name is Bushan.
In our business, I'm the integrator, and he's basically the visionary, which means I like all the background stuff, to doing the spreadsheets, doing anything but talking to the sellers. I talk to sellers like when we're on appointments, I'm good, but the on the phone stuff, I let him handle that part. And that's
Whoa,
actually, yeah, that's actually how we was able to get this lead because of him handling the phones the way he does and stuff.
that is one fact I did not know. That is amazing, guys. That is amazing. Okay, so you're the integrator, and wow, and you're a husband and wife, right?
No,
Yeah.
we're engaged.
Engaged. Okay. How is that working, guys? I'm sure people are curious. How do you work with your actual life partner and
Um,
not kill each other?
I well, we've been doing real estate for about 3 or 4 years. It started because I was working at a jail in our
Oh,
market, and I was trying stuff, and it wasn't working. So a friend of mine that I went to school with actually told me you need to get back into investing. So I started with the stock markets, and he was like, you need to get back into real estate investing too. So I looked it up, and then Carter actually jumped in with me, and we realized basically, okay, you like doing this, I like doing this. So
mhm.
you handle this part, I handle this part, and it just worked. Sometimes, just like any other business, we might bump heads, but at the end of the day, we know it's a business, and we need to basically have like this compromising relationship with each other, and basically
Right,
let the person who's strong at whatever handle
right,
that, and
right.
just basically trust each other enough to know that we can both do this business together.
Got it. Man, I love that. I didn't know that story. It's funny because we're partners on an Airbnb deal. I didn't know, like, but we met in the best community on earth. So it's just
Yeah.
the sub two community is different because we have that instant trust. So sometimes it's
Mhm.
just like, hey, you're already my brother anyway, so I'm not really. But I love that. That's
I
awesome,
get
man.
it's actually funny that we actually started doing this deal together, because I feel like I manifest you as a partner with us, because when we first joined, like two, I think we first we first joined when it first started, and as people started coming in, we was like, okay, we want to work with these people, we want to work.
Right.
And it just so happened I used to became friends on Facebook, and you
Mhm.
used to post. It's this saying. It's one of the sayings that you posted on your story. I actually took me and my kids, we bought a poster board and we actually put that saying on a poster board. I can't read a lot of stuff that you say, and I was like, man, we're gonna end up working with mom. I'm telling you. So Carter, he had posted the deal in the sub two group, and it really wasn't getting any traction. So what we do is, this is a little secret that we do. Basically, when we know it's a good deal, we wait until Pace has his Q&A, and then we actually get him to talk about it. And once we see that Pace shows interest in it, other people not only hear about the deal, but they show interest in it too. And that's how we're able to get you
That's a ruthless trick. Everybody's gonna use that now.
right?
Guys, listen to what she said. She said she manifested me. You know what's funny? Is this deal is actually also a manifestation from something I had written literally on my wall, in my office, about an Airbnb. So it's funny because it was out of the blue, right? I was randomly on that Q&A and I heard about it. But one important thing that you said, and guys, pick this up. She said something that I said because I was posting. If you're not posting your journey, man, if you're not posting stories, if you're not posting reels on Instagram, oh my God, all the deals I've done through Instagram, literally, money, private money I've raised through Instagram because I started posting, you're missing out. You're missing out. If you're still, saying you're an introvert, you don't want to post. I'm sorry for you.
I'm actually an introvert, and I'm actually the one that I kind of push myself to post more and to do more and to actually get out there. That's why we started doing the more of the posting on YouTube, and I mean on Instagram and Facebook, because I'm like, we got to start getting up. We're missing out on not only money but deals.
Yeah, and a lot of connections, right? Like people start knowing who you are, people start knowing what your identity is, and people start knowing, you know what? If I come to Mr. Carter, if I come to Shaque, this is what I need to come to them for, right?
Exactly.
So for me, Pace only told it to me once, and I started right away. Like that's how you found me. And so I had written on my office that by the 31st of December, I'm going to manifest an Airbnb.
It's crazy how
right?
we basically align with our manifestation.
Yes.
We basically closed on that property December 16th of last year. So you manifested
it before the 31st. That's why also, guys, you gotta write down your goals and you gotta be intentional about it. Now, they didn't just randomly reach out to me because I've already connected with Mr. Carter before, and we've talked, and also Shaque, I'm sure you knew if you came to me, I had some value to bring to the table. You would not just call me just because my name is Mama, right?
Yeah.
And so worked out great. But guys, let's break this down since we're here to talk about Airbnbs. Number one, let's start with what was the lead source on this property?
The lead source is Squatting Up, because Pace created accountability groups for us, and we're in there every day communicating with each other and people exchanging deals and just providing value to people. And somebody had just posted the deal in the accountability group, and it just happens to be 30 minutes from where I live at. So I was like, I'll give him a call and see what he wants to do.
So you actually stepped in and called the seller?
Yeah. And I had waited. When I first got the deal, I waited like 3 weeks. I was just like procrastinating. I didn't call him for like 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, let me just call the guy. And I gave him a call. He answered on the second ring. And, he just turned out to be a real cool guy. And that purchasing the property the way we purchased it, it just so happened to fit him perfectly. So
right, based on what he's trying to accomplish.
It was a win-win.
Yeah, we'll get into that. The reason I always like to start with the lead source is because people are always looking for the magic lists. They want to know what is that list that you pulled. So I'm also gonna go ahead and stop everything I was doing. I'm gonna pull that list, and maybe I'm gonna get the similar deal. It doesn't work that way. Like the deal you need to pull is the deal you're gonna call most consistently. That's how you get deals. right? But I just love telling it because I know people that's the number one question they have. Now, somebody may ask, we turned it into an Airbnb. Obviously, the monthly cash flow is so good on the Airbnbs. It's a no-brainer when it comes to it, right? But how did you know it could be a good Airbnb? Like, how did you find out?
Noah.
Yeah, Noah Hoffman. I kind of did the research on my
So
own.
squat up again.
Basically,
Squad up.
yeah.
What is squat up for people that don't know what squat up is? What is squat up?
Basically, two people adding value to each other to get a deal closed. If you ask me, basically somebody acquires a property or a list or something, they go to somebody else so they can help disposition that deal, or they had a buyer, or in our case, we had a lead, you had the private money, and it just aligned like that.
Right. So basically, just partnering up with people.
Exactly.
I have a deal, you have a buyer, right? I have a deal, you have money, right?
Hmm.
Or I have a deal, I don't know how to underwrite Airbnbs, and you have Airbnb skills, help me underwrite it.
Yeah.
Got it. So Noah is the first person that told you this is a good deal as an Airbnb.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
he actually it's crazy because he actually wanted to partner with us first, but it didn't. We wasn't ready. When he first said let's partner up, we was like, no, we're not ready to have rentals right now. We was actually waiting until this year to actually start. But something, I don't know. Once he told me that you was interested, I was like, let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah, you guys almost. But I think even Pace wanted this deal. Until
yeah.
now, he speaks about this deal. He's like,
Yes.
Mr. Carter, I talked to him, and then he go ahead and partner with your mama do it. I didn't just tease him, but he
And
wants
Pace,
to do
he does that. He does that every time where he says, "Yeah, I closed the guy, and I was supposed to buy the deal, but
that.
technically I had the guy closed already." But
Right, right. Yeah. Great. So okay, so now Airbnb, obviously we did I did the numbers. You guys were like, you know what? This could be a great cash flow. Now, why Airbnb? Like for those people that don't know what Airbnb is, what is Airbnb? Like, can you
Basically,
explain?
it's a short-term or long-term rental. Basically, you take a property that you have and you let somebody stay there for a certain amount of time, and you can basically charge for the night plus cleaning fees and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
that
And
way
so
you,
somebody may ask, why would somebody sell their property? Why haven't they just done it themselves? Why sell it to you?
Because some people, they get into real estate and they don't realize that the work that it takes to actually do real estate investing is not something that the money is good, but it's a lot of background work that comes with it too. You have to be able to negotiate, to
Right.
build rapport with sellers. You have to actually be able to get the seller to agree. And some people, it's a lot of maintenance that comes with it. Like you have to be able to answer problems and be a problem solver when something happens with this property. So a
Mhm.
lot of people, they don't want to do the hard work. They just want to collect the check. Some people, they
Or
don't
they're,
have.
or they're just not real estate investors, right?
Exactly. Some
Because
people
like,
that
yeah, the
they
number
don't
one
want
rule
to do that.
the number one rule in real estate is don't put your head in the seller's head, right?
Yes.
Because that's sometimes what happens. Okay, great. So you talked to the seller, Mr. Carter. What was the seller's motivation for selling?
but so he was living in the property for a while, and he's in the army right now. So
Mhm.
eventually tran uh, he got stationed over in South Carolina on a whole
Mhm.
other naval base
Mhm.
away from Virginia. So basically, they put him in a hotel, and they're not paying for his hotel that he's in. So he
Whoa.
ended up paying for a hotel every single day,
Mhm.
plus that mortgage on the property. And he
Mhm.
was trying to buy a house in South Carolina, but he couldn't because he still had that property in his name. He didn't know what he was going to do about that. He couldn't sell it on the market either, because the mortgage was, it's a pretty good amount left on the
Right.
mortgage.
Right. Was that because he bought it recently, or was that because he
Now he
refinanced?
owned it for about 12 years,
So he
and
refinanced probably.
yeah, more than likely he refinanced, and
Okay.
over that time, when he got stationed in South Carolina,
Hmm.
he just the hotel and the mortgage at the same time. I mean, hotels alone, staying in those every single day, that gets expensive, and then you got a whole other, mortgage on a house that you're not even living in. And the whole
Right.
time, his daughter was living in the house by herself. So
he had two daughters staying
Oh
there.
yeah, I remember she had to move, right, for us to be
yeah,
Uh-huh.
able. Okay.
yeah,
So you talk to this guy. He's obviously there's motivation. He's trying to build a new house. I think he was doing a new build, right?
I couldn't hear. What was that?
It was a new build that he was doing, right?
Yeah, yeah, he was trying to purchase a new build. Yeah,
Okay, a new build. So he wanted to do that. He's paying both a hotel and a mortgage. That's a lot of motivation for for a lot of people. And so he wanted to sell it, and a cash offer wasn't a good fit. Is that why you turned it into a creative type of deal?
yeah. When I first talked to him, I just straight up let him know because he told me how much he had on his mortgage, and I was like, okay, well, I'm sure a cash deal wouldn't work. You
Right.
haven't listed it yet. So, obviously you can't sell it right now in the condition it's in. So
Hmm.
I let them know that, we have other options that we have, with, working with us.
And he had equity in the property. He didn't want to just leave that equity behind. So that's what really did it. That on top of the mortgage that was
Hmm.
left, he wanted his equity in
Got
his
it. Okay.
deal.
So he was asking how much, and he owed how much on the property?
He was asking for 390,000
Hmm.
and he owed 320.
320. Got it. So that's 70K in equity, right?
Yeah.
So 70K in equity. And he was willing. So you came to him, you said, "Hey, cash offer the work, we just take over the mortgage, and then give you a down payment on your equity, right?" So
Yeah.
basically, this is what we call in our creative world a hybrid deal. A hybrid
Mhm.
deal is when you buy a property, you have both mortgage and then you have equity. Let's say hypothetically a property is worth 200,000. The seller owe 100,000 to Wells Fargo, and then they have equity for $100,000. They could sell the property for $200,000, so they have 100,000 in equity.
Mhm.
That's called a hybrid deal. So we buy it subject to, meaning we take over the first mortgage, right?
Mhm.
And then their equity, their 100,000 equity, we give them. Let's say hypothetically, we give them 10,000 down, and then we pay that equity over time. That's what we did with him, right?
Yeah, and actually, I think y'all probably forgot about this too. His
Mhm.
mortgage payments was originally like 2,400 a month,
Oh
and he
yeah.
did not want
Oh, yeah.
to. He was a little concerned. He was like, "Why don't you refinance on there to see if we can get the mortgage payments lower?" And he was skeptical about it. But then we talked to him how he had told us that he'd been working on his credit and got it up. I was like, "Yeah, I think you should go ahead and go and do that." And he finally went and did it, and we actually was able to get the monthly payments on the mortgage down to like 1936, I
Yeah.
believe.
Guys, that's crazy. That's the
Yeah.
best part.
Right?
And so seller
So at
refinance.
first, the deal works. The guy says, "Yes, I am open to creative finance.
Hmm.
I am open to let you take over my mortgage, not assuming, just take over the payments,
Hmm.
and then let you give me a down payment on my equity and pay me over time." And on top of that, you convinced him to go to a lender, refinance so that the monthly payment will go down from, you said 2,200 to 1,700,
It was
1,900.
2,400 and it got down to 1,900.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's some sales skills, right? Like you gotta teach people how you negotiate. Somebody's gonna ask, what did she say? How did she? That is wild. So he went, put his own credit, went through the refinance route. And I remember because Mr. Carter actually sent me the letter of approval with the new interest rate. And I was like, but I thought you guys did it because he was behind on the payment, but he wasn't even behind on payments.
Yeah, he actually paid the mortgage a month after he sold it. He paid on the mortgage, and he actually gave us like a 6-month window before we even start paying
That
the
was
equity.
that was another thing I got him to do. For his equity payment, I was like, well, we're giving, you know, 30,000 down.
Mhm.
So, I told him, we need at least 6 months of a grace period before we can pay you anything on your equity. So,
Wow.
he was he was all for it. It's just all about having that conversation and just talking
Right,
to people.
right,
And
right.
he was all for doing that. He didn't mind doing that at all.
That's
His all,
wild.
his main goal was to get into his new property.
Right.
That was his main goal. He wanted to get out of a hotel and get
Mhm.
into his new property. So that's what we accomplished for him.
So obviously, you provide the solution that he needed for what he's trying to accomplish. Trying to buy a property, I mean, building a property, he needs a down payment. Okay, we can go ahead and do that. Take over the mortgage. You no longer have to worry about the mortgage. And on top of that, now you're making the payments on his behalf, and he's getting the credit, right?
Mhm.
Wow, that's wild, dude. So when you say grace period, what I know what you mean, but for somebody who doesn't know, because basically you just told this guy, hey, if we give you $35,000, it was 35,000 down for his equity, right, as a down payment.
Mhm.
So if we give you 35,000 down, the remaining equity on that $70,000, right? We won't pay you. We won't make you monthly payments for a few months, basically. We
Yeah,
owe it to you,
basically.
but right?
Yeah, from the time we closed, 6 months from then
Mhm.
is how much time we ask for just so we can get the property established, fix what we need to fix, and
Right,
get it up on the platform of Airbnb and start making
right,
some profit on it.
bro. That's some ninja stuff. That's some ninja stuff, man.
Yeah,
It's a lot of moving parts on the deal that made it an actual great deal.
Right.
I
exactly.
personally, I would have, tried to get him on the side. So we call that that grace period Mr. Carter is talking about. We call that a silent second, because he's in second position.
Yeah,
He's in second position because he have a mortgage. So the mortgage is in first position. If something goes wrong, they get paid first, and then the seller is in second position because they get paid second, third, so on. So they're actually in second silent. Why silent? Because they're not getting monthly payments, bro. That's some ninja stuff. But you're from sub two, so I'm not surprised.
yeah,
Bro, that's dope. And then we got into the potential cash flow. You guys um told me, I think roughly at the time we were thinking like 78,000 a month, right?
uh,
Roughly
7,800.
7,800. Man,
Yeah,
7,800, yeah,
78,000.
78,000, that would be so good. The 7,800, but the entry fee was roughly. So here's what I want to talk about, right? The challenges, obviously. What was the challenge at closing? Because I know with title companies, like nothing goes as you plan.
One of the things that was kind of tough about closing was, since he wasn't local, we had to send a lot of documents to him. I know with they still had to move because his daughter was in the property,
Right.
so it was kind of we kept on getting pushed back because the daughter needed to move and stuff like that. And like I said, with title, the hardest part was actually getting stuff signed to him, and there was a lot of stuff that was getting missed. He needed to sign that was missing from
Mhm.
getting signed, so we had to actually pay for a notary to actually for him to go to a notary to get certain stuff signed. And it was just a lot of pushback, but it finally got closed.
Yeah, like I've been through a lot with title companies. Like I don't now I know as a real estate investor, actually, like transaction coordinating, like
Hmm.
dealing with all the paperwork and stuff is so key. Like you
Yes,
have to babysit title companies and literally teach them their job.
right.
yeah,
Like they mess up so many things. You're like, oh my God. But at the end of the day, it's not their business, it's your business. So you gotta be on top of your files, you gotta be on top of everything. They make
yeah.
mistakes, they forget stuff.
Yeah, we're doing that now, right now, with a pre foreclosure that
Mhm.
we got to babysit the title company on because
Yeah, it's
we're calling them every other day just to check in on them because
yeah.
they'll
I've made
forget.
peace with it. I've made peace with it. Now I'm like, you know what? Actually, if I don't do it, it's my fault because I have
Yeah,
so many transactions that went like completely south because I wasn't checking in. Because for me, they know their job. But guess what? They're still humans. The
yeah,
escrow officers sometimes, like the communication between the escrow officer and the closing attorney is like there's a disconnect somewhere.
Hmm.
yeah,
Right? Okay, that's awesome. And then we get so obviously, so you get the property. The seller said, I want 35,000 down. I'll finance you the rest. I'll go do the refinance myself, use my own credit, lower the monthly payment so we get even better cash flow per month.
Yeah.
But still, you gotta come to the closing table with the 35,000 down, and then you gotta come to the table with the rental cost. How much was the renovation at first? We thought, which is always
We
never
thought it would be around 13,000.
13.
Mhm.
Guys,
And I
y'all
should have
know,
known that was a little
yeah,
low, but that was
yeah,
just based off,
It was a
other
lot of stuff in
other
that.
contractors
Yeah,
giving quotes.
it was a lot of stuff still left in the house that we had to clear out. So a lot of stuff was hit, and we didn't really see the real damage until the house was actually cleared.
I mean, just think about how many wholesalers send you deals and they go, you only needs $15,000,
No, it's never that.
right? It's literally that's just carpet and paint if you're lucky.
Right. And
And the
we
carpet and I mean the house looked nice, but once you really got everything out of there, you can see like all the walls was just all messed up. They had all had
Yeah,
to be repainted and
and this was around the time that it was a lot of shortages in supplies and stuff like that. So we should have known that it was going to be way more than that
yeah,
because the prices for stuff was way up.
yeah,
right. Got it. So obviously now at the closing table, you gotta come with the cash to seller, closing cost plus the renovation, and then you have holding costs, meaning in the meantime, obviously there is a mortgage. Now there was something special in this property because I think we had like 1 or 2 months where we're not paying the mortgage, I think, right?
Yeah.
yeah. When he refinanced,
Hmm.
I guess with his refinance paperwork, they gave him like 2 months
Bro,
with no payments at all. So,
it
we
was
were good on
miracle after miracle on this deal.
that. Yeah.
It is wild. So 2 months where we don't have to pay the mortgage, but you gotta do the renovation. You have obviously utilities and all that, so holding costs. So everything. I remember at first you said the entry fee was around 70, no, 69,000, I think, right? Or
Mhm.
70.
Yeah, it was 60, yeah, about
Yeah, you
69.
underestimated that too. So now I've learned personally because I've done flips. I've learned to always overestimate everything. If a GC tells me 10, I'm going, okay, great. That's gonna cost me 15. Perfect.
Exactly.
You're telling me 45? Okay, great. It's gonna cost me 55, 60. Perfect. Okay. Right. So, and I gotta raise more money than I need.
Uh-huh.
So that's where this quad up came into play, right? Is coming up with that entry fee, the down payment, cash to seller, which is the cash to seller, closing costs. Closing costs is what we pay the title company to close on the file, and then the renovation cost to get it Airbnb ready. So renovate the property and furnish the property, right? All that cost. Obviously, you guys know like we spend way over than what we thought, but which is
Yeah.
great because we knew the return on investment is there
Mhm.
on the cash flow, and we're gonna get into the cash flow. So that's where the squad up came into play. When we started talking about it, I don't even know how it came about. I was like, perfect. We're just gonna go raise private money,
Yeah.
right? Because at the end of the day, like especially we creative investors, we always want to be zero money out of pocket on every single property.
Mhm.
What does that mean? That means number one, with this property right here, we bought it. Nobody checks our credit, right? Nobody did it. They checked the seller's credit, and then we didn't have to qualify for any loan, right? Nobody even asked our name, I think, outside of closing attorneys to closing the file, right? So we got the property, and then on top of that, we didn't give the seller the whole cash up front. Like I
Mhm.
want, I have 70K in this property. Yeah, great. We'll give you 35, and the rest you can wait. And the reason we gave him 35 is because that's the amount he needed for his actual new
Yeah.
property, right? Because usually we give 10, 15, 20, depending on the purchase, right? So I was like, okay, guys, I like you guys are telling me roughly 7,800 a month on a regular rental. If you're lucky, you net $400 a month,
Wow.
Exactly.
right? And so $400 a month, if you do the math, if a water heater goes off, it's gonna take you a whole year on your cash flow to pay that,
To take care of that.
right?
Yeah.
But think about it on an Airbnb where you cash flowing 7,800 a month. That's like 10 water heaters.
Exactly.
You're going, right? So it's a no-brainer. So I was like, okay, great. We're just gonna go get private money. Well, now what is private money? Can you guys explain to those people that don't know what private money is? What is private money?
Private money, it could be, you can literally pick up your phone and find private money. Some people, like I see in your cases, you turn some of your sellers into private lenders. Basically, it's somebody that's looking to get an investment back or return back on their money.
Right. People that have money laying in the bank, guys, earning 0.0.0. I'm sure you have an aunt right now with some mattress money, like, or money under the pillows. It's just sitting there collecting dust. They
Yeah.
wish they could put it somewhere, but they don't know how. So that's private money.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally just went to somebody and said, hey, we can give you a return on your money on this deal. And so we raise the entry fee. What is the entry fee? The entry fee is all these things that I just listed. Is the cash to seller, closing costs, renovation costs, holding costs, marketing fees, furnishing. All this is an
Maintenance.
entry fee, maintenance, everything. All is an entry fee. So we got the deal. We didn't come out of pocket for any money. We went to somebody else to get the money to pay for everything we needed. So we all in zero money. So actually, our return on investment for us is infinite because we have zero money into the deal, right? But in terms of the return on investment, like we put in, I think roughly over 71,000 we ended up spending, right?
Yeah.
Roughly
Around
over
71.
71,000. And honestly, the property is doing wonderful. Like the property is doing great. I think even better than we expected, right?
Yeah.
And this is just on the, it's actually on one platform. And a lot of people, to really see a difference, they put it on two. So we just wanted to get it on that one that platform to see how it'll go so far. And now we're actually ready to get it on a couple of more platforms and started really cash flowing and filling up our dates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
And
Right.
the crazy thing is we're booked out till what is it?
we got bookings until all the way to all the first week of August.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
every weekend from Thursday to Sunday is booked.
Yeah. So basically, there's not only one way to monetize and cash flow in Airbnb. You can literally put it on different platforms, rent it out to traveling nurses.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they pay even a little bit more on your Airbnb because like what happens is sometimes you post a property on Airbnb and you mostly getting bookings but on the weekend and you have to monetize your property on the week too, right? That's the goal. So I
Yeah.
think the property is actually going to do way better than that. So we're probably going to end up cash flowing over $10,000 a month on this property.
Yeah, I think so too because we're about to start using what's the other
VR. VR.
oh, VRBO. And up there, the good thing about that is kind of better than Airbnb
Mhm.
because it's a different type of traffic that comes up there. It's like a lot of out of country people, and you
Right,
actually can charge more for
right,
your night. You're supposed to charge more, anyways, for your nightly bookings and stuff
right.
like that. So I can't wait to actually, it should be up there by the second week of June. So I can't wait to see what type of return we start getting back from there.
Yeah, I love that. So just to go back just a little bit, right? Because I know people are going to be like, how, like the partnership, how and why? Why didn't you guys just go ahead and raise the money, which you could, right? But what is the benefit of partnering up? Number one, when you guys came to me, obviously I'm not local in that area. You guys are local in Virginia, but you're a little bit far from the property, but at least you're local, right? So when you partnering up, and I just want to break this down for somebody that might have the question, is the two partnerships have to bring different value to the table. So for me, when we talked about it, I was like, Mr. Carter, if I bring the money, that's it. I don't want to know anything else, right? I do want to like know when the cash flow is coming in, but like management, I don't want to deal with it at all. So if you bring 100% of the money to partner up with somebody, because here's the reality, like if you have that type of money as private money, you can go ahead and just buy a deal by yourself without having a partner, right? If you partner with somebody, there have to be another value that they bring to the table than just a contract and a property. Because there's a lot of people out here with properties and contracts. What you guys bring more is, especially your girl, like she is so resourceful. Oh my gosh. You guys handle the renovation, coordinating with that. I see how you went on because at first we were thinking about hiring Airbnb management, right? And you
Yep.
were like, no, 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 I'm gonna figure it out. We're just gonna self-manage so we can save costs. You went ahead and figured this thing out. Ultimately, you're doing a wonderful job. Obviously, Mr. Carter, you're doing a wonderful job too, because I know you're always there. Mr. Carter is our handyman right now.
Yeah, that's
But
everything.
on a partnership, there has to be different value. And here's why I'm saying that, guys. Like I get a lot of DMs or whatever, and people say, "Hey, because we do a lot of JV models. The JV models is we do joint ventures. We help other people close deals, right? I'm sure, Mr. Carr, you do the same thing. When somebody run into a seller and the seller want too much money, but they don't do creative finance, they only do cash deals, they reach out to people like us and we help them close. And sometimes they want to partner up on that deal when you close it. Let's say hypothetically you decide you want to take it down. Now here's the challenge. Sometimes they want to partner up, they don't have the money, and they're not local, so they cannot even manage. They
Yep.
don't have the connections that have the money, right? That partnership, guys, doesn't really work. I don't see why somebody would partner. So usually somebody would go, you know what? I'll just pay you an assignment fee and just buy it from you. The reason I decided to do the partnership is because I knew you guys are local. You'll be able to manage. I saw from the beginning, from the first conversation we had, I saw that your girl, like the way she was talking, I could tell she's resourceful. So I wasn't scared of you guys figure it out, right? So when you're trying to partner up, guys, make sure both parties are bringing different, value to the table that complement each other. Here, they have a property, they're local, they can manage it. I have the money, I want to be passive and get into Airbnb, but I don't have no time to deal with the headaches. It's too far from me, and I'm way too busy to manage, to be honest, right? And so it just works out great.
Yeah, and I believe not only did you have like the money, but you knew more about like properties because you, like you said, you do
Right,
fix and flips and stuff like
right.
that. So it wasn't really about the money. You already had that experience with properties, and it's basically we're learning stuff from you, and you're really good with remembering, like, okay, we need to make sure we got this done, we got this paperwork and that.
Yeah.
So you actually you're that, not only the money part, but you actually add a little bit more value, especially on the
Extra
trend
value. Yeah. Yeah. Which
paperwork
that's the
side
thing,
and
right?
stuff like
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Like because you guys can go ahead and raise the money. The value was really, you know what? Number one, manifest. I was doing something right for you to be like, hey,
Right.
I'm just gonna manifest this guy. And number two, you're right. I have the experience that hey, I can come in and give certain advice that are out, and I could actually even talk to the seller when it came down to it, right? You guys know that I have the experience, so that was extra value there too. So
Mhm.
I was just trying to point it because there's a lot of people looking to partner up and they don't know like what does a partnership look like. So but you gotta bring something to the table. You cannot just want to partner just because you have a contract. Like that's not skin in the game. I see a lot of people call a contract skin in the game. That's not skin in the game.
Yeah, and you're
So
somebody that we would want to do other deals with. So
yeah,
learn
yeah,
being able to go through stuff, this deal and stuff like that, it may, okay, this is really somebody that we will want to do deals with because you're, like I said, you're good at what you do. And you
yeah,
add the missing value that we needed for this deal as well.
yeah. So we have a question here, right? So Janet, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. She said, for the private money lender, do you pay them back with monthly payments along with the mortgage?
It depends on how you can set it up. Really, you can set it up like that, or you can set it up that your private lender actually gives you a grace period so you can get the property up and running and stuff like that. It just depends on what type of return the lenders, I mean, yeah, the private lender is looking for and when they want their payment. So you can be, like you said, get creative with real estate. Is you can
Right.
get
Yeah,
creative
yeah,
with literally every part of this. of the deal. Just make sure it works for everybody. So if the private lender needs the money right as soon as y'all close to start getting return on their money, do that. But if they can actually see if they can wait for payment, so you can actually start getting some type of money back, so you can be able to pay it, so you won't, like you said, be coming out of pocket and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so she's spot on. You know, you can structure it a lot of different ways, but that's the idea. Absolutely, you pay them back along with the mortgage. So if you have a mortgage in place when you buy the property, if it's a subject to deal and you go to a private lender and you get a private money to get into the deal, so now the private lender is in second position. So ultimately every month now you have two payments. One is to the lender and then second is to your private lender, whatever that interest rate is. But basically that's to keep it simple. Like you can structure it different ways depending on your relationship with your private lender. That's why we call it private. It's private relationships. It's people that you actually took time to build a relationship with. And mostly they invest in you, not the deal, even though they look at the deal, but they invest in you first because you've networked with them, his friends, his family, whatever. So yes, you have two payments every month, mortgage, and you're paying the private lender along with the mortgage. So that's why you got to make sure that the property actually cash flows, because you can be underwater really quick if you have now, like this property, for example, is a lot of positions, right? You have the first mortgage that was already there, they stay first. And then you have the seller financing their equity. So that's another lender, right? And then you have now the third position, which is the private lender, because somebody else lended the money. So we actually have three different loans technically on the property. So it's three different payments per month. Now, because the highest and best use was Airbnb, the cash flow is so good that no problem, you can afford it, right? So you always want to make sure now. I'm telling you, like, it's a no-brainer. Like, I'm at, like, how many? Just think about it. This property, roughly, if it does poorly, let's call it 7,800 a month. How many do you need to like quit your W-2?
I think because Carter still work his 9 to 5, so we want at least a one or two more properties so he can be able to quit.
Right. I think with three, you're out because
Yeah.
most people, how much do they need per month? $10,000.
At that point, you're comfortable that you're supplementing your income from your job, and I mean, you full time go straight into real estate.
Yeah.
You don't gotta get up early in the morning and go to no job where you don't like where you're being at.
Yeah,
So
that's the great thing about Airbnb.
that's
All
the
you
goal.
need is two, at the most three. Most people are making less than 100 grand a year.
Right.
All you need is probably one. If you cash flowing, just be honest. If you're watching right now and you don't have no rentals, whatever, like, and you have a W-2 you're trying to quit, you really need just one. Like, if you cash flowing 8,000 now, can you really quit your job? I think you can, and then try to find the second one. But mostly like $10,000 a month is like, bro, I'm addicted to this.
Yeah.
Airbnb.
Right.
So, and I'm addicted to zero money out of pocket Airbnbs. Those are even way sweeter. Way sweeter.
Way better.
So guys, where, in what areas should people send our way Airbnbs? Talk to them.
Anywhere in Virginia, like for right now, we would like to be able to get to the property, be able to walk the property, be able to just to look, be able to, if our handyman or somebody can't get there fast enough, we'll still be able to get there. So anywhere in Virginia, especially the Hampton Roads area, Norfolk, Suffolk, Chesapeake, Hampton, Portsmouth, Newport News, where our current property is at, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake. Those are the 7 cities in our area. And we'll do Williamsburg, Yorktown, anywhere close. Like I said, we don't mind driving to get to a property.
Of course, man. Of course. Especially if it's Airbnb, guys. They would
Right.
book a flight for an Airbnb. So, and then what is the best way to connect with you guys and send potential Airbnbs your way?
You can always, I don't know what Carter Handler is on Instagram.
My Instagram is Q_Carter_. So
Q_Carter. Let me write it down so people can see it in chat. Carter, and then?
Yes, and mine is Shaque_Hughes.
That's it. Q Carter _Carter_.
Q_Carter_. Yep, that's
it. Damn, bro. Gotta make it simple, man.
Right? That's why you actually made me change my
Yeah, I
Instagram
saw that.
name.
I saw that.
You
So
made
guys,
me
I just
change
put
mine.
at Mr. Carter's Instagram right there. Tap in with him for Instagram. Connect with him if you guys have potential Airbnbs in Virginia. And how about you, Shaque?
Mine is Shaque_Hughes.
Okay.
And you can find us on Facebook. His is Quashawn Carter. Mine is Shaque Hughes on Facebook.
Okay,
Just
that's
send us a DM.
Hughe.
HES, yes.
Okay. Even that, you gotta make it shorter, yo. Yeah, the first one that you had was so long. I was like, what the heck?
Right?
I'm not even trying to tag her right now. I'm not trying to think.
Yeah.
So I love when I saw you change it. I was like, yes. But and I love you guys. I'm seeing right now you're posting more. You're doing videos. I love it, man. Keep it going. I'll probably do more videos than the text posting thing. 'Cause people don't read.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
People
exactly.
like literally they will read one word and they're already scrolling to the next. So like those quick real videos, I would do
Yeah,
that more.
even though I love looking at your real videos, so it's more. I'm happy that it's just not the words. Like you actually seeing how much you post and stuff made us like we need to get on our P's and Q's and start posting.
I'm trying to up my game. I'm trying to get to 3 a day. I'm not even doing a great job right now. I'm trying to ramp it up. That's why I even created.
I'm trying to get more comfortable with the camera in front of my face and just talking. So we
Bro.
gonna definitely keep doing that.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that offline. But yeah, I was actually gonna leave you a comment on that. I'm like, Mr. Carter, can you be a little bit more enthusiastic when you're talking in front of the camera?
Yeah,
Like,
you can really tell that we're yin to yang, like we're night and day with each other.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, bro, like you gotta get into. So just think about it when we call in sellers, right, on the phone. Think about it. You read the book. You can't teach a kid to ride it back at a seminar, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Remember how it talks about getting into a role, the
Mhm.
role of you.
Mhm.
That's what you need to do with the social media. Is the same thing. When you're getting in and talking about a topic, it's like put that hat on. Like I'm talking about something right now that I'm doing, a deal that I've done, or I'm giving a tips on pre-foreclosures. Like, you know what I mean? Put on your teacher's hat for like 60
Yeah.
seconds and
Yeah,
have a little bit more. That's how you got to look at it, you know?
yeah.
And then
That's
after
another
that,
reason why I like to going to see the seller's property because whatever he missed on the phone, like I said, I don't like
mm,
talking to sellers on the phone, but I
mm,
can get a seller talking face to
mm,
face. Like I get them
that's awesome.
to talk a lot more once because I find stuff to relate about in conversation and stuff like that. So whatever he
Nice.
do miss, I pick up on. I
That's
pick up the
powerful.
slack.
That's a powerful couple, man. It's a powerful couple. I'm telling you guys, like honestly, if I had to partner up on an Airbnb more than once, it would definitely be you guys. Like I truly enjoy. Even though like I'm so busy, like sometimes you guys text me 2 days, but it's like I really love how resourceful you guys are, and how you decide I'm just gonna figure it out and you did it. So now at least even if you decide at some point to use a manager, but you know how it works, right? Somebody
Right.
can just come and fool you or whatever. So that resourcefulness, not a lot of people have it. So definitely, guys, I take my hat off to you guys because I was a little bit skeptical. Please, I hope I don't get a lot of headaches because
Yeah.
I'm not too busy. But I love it, guys. I love the partnership. Obviously, we're learning. We're all learning. It's all learning curve. But let's manifest more Airbnbs, guys.
Right.
Let's go. Guys, thank you for coming up.
Thank you for
Keep doing
having us.
what you're doing, and let's kill it, guys. Let's get some more Airbnbs. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, let's
That's
do it.
it.
Let's manifest more, Shaque.
Right. That's all I'm about. Manifestation. Yes.
All right,
All right.
all right, guys. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.
Appreciate it.
Good.